Hello, it's George. I am the writer, editor, and star of the show of this video.
And I am Rocky. I am the artist and the co-host, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. She is now the voice of Huck in the show, which I'm glad people have found that so... Well, I'm glad that people have taken on that so well, because I personally think Rocky did an amazing job with the voice of Huck here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the first time I've voice acted in a really long time, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we decided to do a commentary because we haven't done a commentary on a video before, and I like to have something to sort of bounce information off of, or just someone to react to when I'm doing the commentary. So we're just doing this, and if they prove popular, we can do some more in the future.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So to start off the bat, we should say that Rocky has not seen Ghosts, so this video is going to be a bit less about the show we did the review on and talking more about how we kind of got to this point in our lives, kind of starting off working with each other probably 6 or 7 years ago now, and now we're basically, full-on partners with this YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think we first talked to each other. You were still doing the Farthing Wood reviews, and you wanted to use one of my it was just kind of basically a joke comic thing that I used as a thumbnail for one of your videos.
Yeah, so it's like, when I did the second series of Farthing Wood reviews, I wanted to have custom thumbnails, because the first series I just used the automatic ones that the YouTube algorithm gave me, but I wanted it to be a bit more professional, so I went around DeviantArt looking at various people who had done Farthing Wood, basically fan drawings or fan art, and I found a bunch of different people, some of which I still work with today, actually. But your one was probably the most perfect for that specific episode, because it was basically, what was it, like episode 27, I think it was, in a nutshell. And it was just these cute little chibi versions of all the foxes, just kind of summing up the very dark and abrupt ending of the final episode of Series 2.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just sort of like you have... what was it, like Fox going, well, Scarface is dead, I don't see why you two can't be together, and then there's Whisper on like the far right hand side, or Vixen or whoever it was no, it was Vixen holding Bold's dead body going, Bold's dead, guys.
Yeah, and Whisper's like, go to White Deer Park, I said, it's good for the kids, I said.
Exactly, yeah. And I just thought it was so funny. It was just like, it reminded me a lot of the humor I was using in the series, so I thought she'd be perfect to just have that as the thumbnail. And admittedly, I don't, looking back, I can't say exactly what possessed me to ask, but I wanted to have a specific thumbnail for the episode where Fox and Scarface finally throw down, where it was Scarface, the Fox version of Scarface, drawn in the style of the poster for the Scarface movie, and I came to you to do that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty interesting, because I hadn't seen the film Scarface at the time. I just knew the poster.
Admittedly, at that point, I hadn't seen the movie either. Eventually, I did watch it around about after I actually did the second series reviews, but I did eventually see it. But I also liked how you did that little extra touch by the tagline of the movie was, he loved the American dream with a passion, and you changed it to, he loved the White Deer Park dream with a passion.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, that kind of started how anytime I had an idea for a thumbnail or a picture to use in the video, you always added that sort of little detail that just made it... it gave your own flavour to it, but it also made it a lot more memorable and funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do like to add fun little details in just my art in general whenever I think of it. But
yeah,
no, I'm glad it really meshed with your sensibilities, though.
I know, it's like it kind of mixes perfectly, and it's also that mentality was the thing that gave birth to the channel's now mascot.
Yeah, Huck.
Yeah, because that was actually your idea. I didn't ask you to do that for the original banner for my YouTube channel. You just put it in on your own.
Yeah, well, because you were doing a lot of Farthing Wood stuff at the time. That was really like pretty much all you had on the channel for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. I had done a few other
Yeah.
reviews in between. Like I think between series 1 and 2, I did the top 10 Roald Dahl books and the top 13 Doctor Who villains and stuff like that. But yeah, it was mostly Farthing Wood
but
stuff.
like,
Yeah, but it was mostly Farthing Wood stuff at that point.
yeah. So Huck, I actually based his design off of like a chibi version of Fox from
Yeah,
Farthingwood because he's got kind of the like little triangle divots in the cream part of his face,
yeah.
like Fox
And
does. Yeah.
yeah, you can definitely see the resemblance when you look back at that old picture that you did. And it's sort of like, I just saw it and I immediately thought, we have to make this the mascot now. Just because, it's simple and effective, but it's also cute and memorable. And it's a good way of kind of giving my channel a bit more of an identity. Because to be fair, there's only so much you can do with the name Headphones UK in terms of giving yourself a kind of identity and mythos. But having the cute Fox mascot immediately kind of gives it more of that kind of identifiable thing that people will always attest and attune to my videos.
Yeah, and plus the name Huck, the origin
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
name is pretty fun too. I think.
Which was also your idea.
But well, just because that's how I always like labeled your your files for whenever I do art for you. I just put HUK.
Yeah, and so that you just came to having a habit of calling him Huck, and I just thought, sounds like a good name. It became the official name when during Series 3 we did the Where is Huck contest.
Yeah, that was when you first got the plush, right?
Exactly, I specifically bought that plush for that particular contest.
Mm.
And so, yeah, after that point it just became a regular thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Huck appear in all of the previous thumbnails at that point anyway, just to sort of, I think, like, the first time we had him appear in the thumbnail was the Danger Mouse thumbnail, where we had him be, because I was meant to be like the evil genius, and I was holding him, stroking him like Blofeld's cat.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he was also in the thumbnail for the Valiant review. He was chasing the pigeons around.
Which is kind of funny because my original idea for that thumbnail was a lot different, and then we both decided, yeah, actually we shouldn't do that.
What was the original idea?
Or the original idea, I wanted to have something that would sort of stand out and be sort of provocative and shocking, because I was a bit more edgy back then. I was still going through university, because it was themed around World War II, and because also Ricky Gervais had a thing where he would often sometimes dress up as Nazis as a joke.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I wanted to have it be where me, Huck, the Falcon from the movie, and Ricky Gervais's character were all standing doing the Nazi salute.
Oh God, yeah, no, that would have. I don't think we would be. I don't think we would be here today if we did
Probably
that.
not. No, probably not. So yeah, eventually
Yeah.
I sort of I sort of doubled back on that and said, yeah, I don't want to do that. So that was the first thumbnail where the entire concept of it was originally your own. I had no kind of input in it whatsoever.
Really? Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you just said something with Huck and the pigeons.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
do what you think is best. And you said to me you based the pigeon's design off of the kids' book, Don't Let the Pigeons on the Bus.
Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Yeah.
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 But yeah, so yeah, I sort of like, again, it's like one of those things where it turned out to be something that ended up being beneficial for everybody, because it gave you more of a chance to be more creative and be more autonomous with the thumbnails.
Mm.
And yeah, it's like I think I did some more reviews between Series 2 and Series 3 of Farthing Wood reviews, but those are the only ones that I can primarily remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
'Cause, yeah,
kind of after Farthingwood where you started to really kind of branch out.
Yeah, it was because the Farthing Wood reviews would take up my entire summer break when I was between years at university. So that was basically all I did during the summer, was that I would watch the videos and write the scripts, then film them, and then edit them together.
I see, yeah.
That's why with Series 3 I condensed it a bit more to try and make it a little bit easier for myself.
Well, yeah, and also, like you were saying, Series 3, had such separate story arcs as well.
Yeah, it had much more fractured kind of story arcs, and it was a bit more... it's like, Series 2 kind of had that with kind of cutting back and forth between Bold and Fox's stories, but it was done a bit more smoothly. Series 3, it was just such a kind of, okay, now it's Weasel, now it's Owl, now it's Fox, and just kept jumping back and forth, so I felt it was just easier to sort of condense them into their own individual episodes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so after that we started doing some more just general reviews.
Yeah, I think my favorite, I think it was post Farthingwood, my favorite thumbnail I did was the Rick and Morty one. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was great. And actually, your style does really work with that Rick and Morty style.
Thanks, yeah.
And it's like, with Rick and Morty, it is kind of that sort of Cal Arts style that people do a lot of nowadays, but it's got a lot more eclectiveness and creativity to it than most other Cal Arts shows.
Yeah. My style isn't exactly Cal Arts, I don't think.
I don't know how I would describe yours. It's definitely got that very sort of cutesy, simplistic quality to it, but it's one of those things where simplicity works in its favor. Like, the less of something there is, the more there is to appreciate, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, just simple, effective. I try to do, yeah. Yeah, well,
And
especially because I like to... work with the same characters over and over, so the less details I'll be pulling my hair out over later, the better.
Which explains why you do so many fan art drawings of characters from the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, that too.
Which that also does really suit your style. I don't know what it is. There's something about those puppets that does make them look very much... It almost does kind of look like if your drawings were brought into a three-dimensional space, that's what they would look like.
Really?
It's like, that's what I feel sometimes anyway. But either way, it's like, I feel like your style really does blend with mine sort of perfectly, because it's like, in a way, my videos are more down to earth compared to like other reviewers on YouTube. I do sometimes do sketches and skits and stuff, but I don't go like full on doing things like songs or really over elaborate things. So it's more sort of my own down-to-earth flavour, and your style really matches that.
Huh. Well, I'm happy to contribute.
Yeah, no, it's like, was remember, because we had that discussion, I think last time we were talking, did a live chat or something, we mentioned about how, as creators, I'm the kind of person, I'm not the best at coming up with things from scratch, but you give me the elements to put it all together, and I can do it really well. Whereas you're the kind of creator, you are the best at coming up with things from scratch, but in terms of making sort of a grander thing, like organising it, you said you weren't the best at that. So in a way, we're sort of the perfect team.
Yeah. I guess when you think of it that way.
It is also just a lot of fun, not just working with you, but also just being able to have chats with you, because you're one of the few people that knows as much useless trivia as I do.
Yeah, definitely. If you and I ever were in a pub together on a quiz night.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we'd probably be asked to leave eventually.
Exactly, yeah. I always enjoyed making quizzes when I was a kid, because I would always have so many obscure questions that people would never know the answers to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun working with you over the years.
Yeah, same. It's nice to kind of see what other people do with my art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know what it was about your style that made me gravitate towards you, because I used a lot of different artists with lots of different styles when I did the second series. When I say used, I said borrowed their art, I should probably say, because I didn't. You were the only one I had. No, sorry. Snowy Stoat. Yeah, I got a bit tongue-tied with that. I did commission her for a few thumbnails as well, but you were the first one I came to when I wanted to have a specific thumbnail commissioned.
Yeah, well, I think it was kind of like our rapport too. Like we just kind of chat a lot.
Yeah, we did
especially when we got Discord.
Yeah, exactly. We just sort of hit it off, and just when we do talk, we tend to just talk on for hours until eventually I look up and go, "Oh, it's 11 in the evening."
Yeah. It's not as bad here because we'll start talking when it's just after my lunchtime here in Wisconsin, and then we finish, and I'm like, oh, I should start dinner.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's like, it's time for me to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's what else is there to talk about with our sort of career? Because we've been through a lot together. Well, this is the first time you've had a appearance in a... Well, I say appearance, you don't appear physically, but you do use your voice in the episode, which again, I do want to stress, like, you did such a good voice with characterizing Huck, I must say.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mostly just, I was just thinking of, like little boy characters who are famously voiced by women, like Bart Simpson or Ash Ketchum or whatever.
I was going to say, yeah, you do have a bit of a Bart Simpson feel with Huck's voice.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just sort of, yes, I remember that when you sent me your audio, like about a week ago, and I got it off of Google Drive, I woke up, I was so tired, I hadn't slept very well, I wasn't feeling all there really, but I listened to your audio and I immediately just got out my hard drive and started putting it into the video straight away because I loved it that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Aw. Yeah, no, because I was actually, now I remember, I was actually thinking that, because I get off work at like 4, and because my company still has us working at home. So I basically just, as soon as I got done from work, I took my laptop back into my bedroom and just spent the next 2 hours recording the lines. Big chunk of that was trying to do Modern Major General properly.
Which I have to say, you did do a very good job of that. When you sung it, it actually reminded me a lot in Animaniacs when Yakko Warner sings the song. I don't know why, it just reminded me a lot of that.
I think it's probably because of the nasal voice I was doing.
Possibly, yeah. But you did do a very good job of it. I remember that when you said, I can only do the first 2 lines, and I said, oh, that's all I need. You went, oh, thank God.
Yeah, no. Because I'd done like a few non-recorded practice ones before that.
Yeah.
And I tried to do like as much of the song as I could, and that was pretty much as far as I could go without it falling apart.
Yeah. It's like, it's admittedly a song that I've only just sort of recently become aware of, in the sense that I've not watched the Pirates of Penzance musical, so I didn't know that much about the musical itself. But then I found out about the song, because Animaniacs spoofed it again in the reboot, where they did their version of it, but it was about Nero, the famous Roman emperor.
Mm-hmm.
It's called I Am the Very Model of an Ancient Roman Emperor. And it was a very good rendition, actually. And I thought, well, that's got to be a spoof of something. And then I looked it up and was like, oh, so that's what this is from. Because I've heard Modern Major General, like that line, Modern Major General, I'd heard it many times, but I didn't really know what it meant.
I think Sideshow Bob sang it in that one Simpsons episode, Cape
No,
Fear.
That was the HMS Pinafore. It's also by Gilbert and Sullivan, but it's not the same musical. Barney Gumble.
Some musical apprenticeship.
Yeah, Barney Gumble did sing it in that episode where he and Homer go into space.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's because like when Barney's meant to give up alcohol, they get up the next morning and find that he's like super clean sober. He starts doing backflips while singing the song.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
And then and then Homer tries to basically one up him by doing cartwheels by singing "There Once Was a Man from Nantucket."
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, at least you didn't have me sing anything from Hamilton.
Yeah, you said that. I also said that it's also good I'm not making you sing the final part of My Coat of Many Colors from Joseph and His Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah. Another Simpsons moment I like.
Yeah, you mentioned that when Flanders starts singing it to himself when he takes his record back from Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, to be fair, that one's slightly easier when you're doing it as just voice acting because it's a slightly slower pace, so you can just read it off of the auto cue, but it's still a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, I know, especially all those color names. A lot of them are just really hard to pronounce.
Exactly, yeah, because I was in a version of Joseph. I played the baker, which was one of the minor roles in the movie. I remember that, yeah, I just was kind of glad that I didn't I was sort of slightly bitter that I didn't get a larger role, but I was also glad I didn't have to play Joseph because I would have to have memorized all those annoying colors.
Yeah. Of course, as an artist, I know all those colors, but in the context of, like, my Copic collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, if you were singing Coat of Many Colors, it would be NBV11 and YG05.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't quite work as well.
Yeah, no, not as good of a ring to it.
Nah. But, yeah, no, you did such a good job with Huck. It's like, when I imagined him speaking when I was writing the episode, it was pretty much exactly the sort of voice that came into my head.
Ah, thanks, yeah. Yeah, no, because like I said, I was just kind of imagining that, like, generic 90s, a little boy character voiced by a middle-aged woman voice.
Yeah, so sort of like you said, Bart Simpson. And I hear a little bit of Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats in there as well.
I guess so, like, because I watched that a lot as a kid too, so that makes sense.
I'm looking forward to doing more videos with you as the voice of Huck. I'm glad people enjoyed it because I was just so happy with the way you did your voice. I was just hoping other people would be as happy with it as well, and they have been, which I'm glad because I really want to keep doing more stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I was like worried that I was gonna like that our gamble wouldn't pay off and that I would like drag the video down or something.
Or people would just be mad. People would be mad that it was breaking away from the previous format, like when Doug Walker came back from his hiatus as Nostalgia Critic and he started doing those really elaborate sketches. People were like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, well, to be fair, you're not breaking the format all that much.
No, I'm just adding another person in to add a couple of occasional jokes.
Yeah, and you're not on camera anymore. That's it.
Yeah, which that one's more of a necessity rather than a creative choice, because as I said in the previous video, it's just because the way my flat is arranged, there's just not enough physical space to have a camera set up, and even in the places that are slightly more spacious, it's so big that it creates a really annoying echo. So yeah, it's more of just a necessity than it is because I wanted to do something like it. But I am, it's like I said, it's like if I had to do these sorts of changes, I might as well do it with some style.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the Future style.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. So
exactly, yeah, and you did a really good job because you gave me all of those Photoshop files that have all the interchangeable facial expressions and arms and such, and you did such a good job with those because it gives me so many options with both myself and Huck.
Thanks, yeah. No, that was, like, this is always something I've kind of wanted to do with some project. Like, like one thing I've always thought would be kind of fun to work on was like a visual novel or something, but the thing is you have to think of a story and the branching things, and it's like I just think the characters styles in those are kind of neat. So
Yeah.
this is a good now I finally have an outlet for that.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of those things, I don't know if you had them, but I remember having them when I was a kid, where you'd normally get these in like cereal packets or like in Happy Meal toys, where it would be a roll-out semi-transparent sheet with ink pictures printed on it, and you get these little cardboard cutout characters of like the Ninja Turtles or Sonic the Hedgehog or something, and you could move them around on the transparent paper as if like it is sort of like a little miniature storybook.
Yeah, no, I've seen those before. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to love those as a kid. It's like, admittedly, I think I had one that was like Thomas the Tank Engine. I just used to remember doing a lot of mock stories where the engines just crash into each other all the time.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Which, to be fair, now having seen more of the actual show, because as I said in the review, I didn't watch much of the show growing up, and now having watched it, that's actually more accurate than I think I was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah, no, that's like I decided recently to look back at some of the Barbie movies that I grew up with, because you wouldn't have watched that because you were like an older brother with a little brother. I was a older sister with a little sister. I think our siblings are even the same like age gap as us.
Well, we're born in the same year. We're only a 2-month difference between us.
Yeah. But, yeah, so like, I decided to look back at these Barbie movies, and they were a lot more action-packed than I remember them being as a kid. But then I realized, the games that we'd play with the Barbies, they were pretty wild, too. So, makes sense.
I mean, I've not had much experience with Barbie. The only experiences I had was when I would go around some of my lady friends' houses. Or not lady friends is not the right term, because they would have been like 6 or 7. So,
yeah, I was gonna say like, yeah.
I don't mean like girlfriends. I mean friends who are girls.
Yeah.
So I'd go around their houses and I'd have a look at their toys. And I always found it fascinating playing with the girls' toys when I was around their houses, because it was fascinating how they differed sometimes from boys' toys. Like, I was always a big fan of Polly Pocket. I don't know, something about the little intricate designs and some of the moving pieces they had. It was a lot of fun, I found.
Yeah, no, I didn't have many Polly Pockets, but I do remember that when Lion King 2 came out, Polly Pocket made a playset for that, of all things. Yeah, and I actually had that set when I was little, and it was pretty cool. Just all the little bits together, like, you'd put Simba in, like, this one certain place, and then you'd flip a switch, and it would make him, like, roar and raise a paw. It was pretty cool.
That's kind of... Well, it's got to be better than that Lion King Happy Meal toy, which is Rafiki raising up Simba. You've seen that one, haven't you?
I don't know if I have.
It's basically Rafiki holding up Simba like he is in the main opening of the movie, and you pull down his tail and it makes him raise Simba up. But the downside is that because of the rigid plastic form, the way he holds Simba when his tail isn't being pushed up, it's right in front of his crotch.
No! Oh, yeah. No!
And so if you just flick his tail up and down, you can probably guess what that looks like.
God, I hate that.
Yeah.
Didn't they... And that, like... I can't believe Disney made that mistake twice. Apparently there was an action figure of Tarzan where you'd press a button on his back to make him raise his spear. But if you took the spear away, his hand would still be like this.
Yeah, it looked like he was masturbating, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there was also the Buzz Lightyear drink carton, which was basically... It was one of those plastic sippy cups with a straw that came out at an angle, with a Buzz Lightyear on top with his arms crossed. But the figure of the figure of the Buzz Lightyear stops at around the waist area, and the placement of the straw is right where his groin would be. Yeah.
Hey, audience! Now you know what our our off-camera
Yeah.
conversations usually devolve into.
I mean, this is light stuff compared to some of the stuff we get into conversations with off camera.
Yeah, especially when we got into that one French cartoon.
Yeah, which you may or may not see more of that in the coming reviews.
Yeah. The visual that just popped up on screen is perfect.
The one where we were scared of the little singing girl.
Yep.
And it's also perfect in relation to what we were just talking about.
Yep. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Well, I also make a reference to Sabrina Online in this video, which is also something we talk about a lot off camera.
Yeah, but I don't know. And you could give like any given strip from Sabrina Online, and you're more than likely gonna get a PG-13 one.
Mostly, yeah. I mean, there are some where they definitely push the envelope a bit, but there's nothing explicit in there.
Yeah, whereas the French cartoon, any given moment, you're gonna see something.
Oh yeah, it's not even like a situation where they get into explicit scenes like frequently, but in between there's stuff that's safe to show. No, like literally every frame there's something you wouldn't be able to show to someone who's under the age of 18.
Yeah. Unless they're very, very understanding.
Oh yeah, or hey, who knows? Maybe. Well, I showed you that there was that. I think it was the Netherlands or something where there was that kids cartoon, which I won't go into detail, but do you remember that? It was about that stop motion one, yeah. And that actually is a cartoon for kids, but that's because attitudes towards sexual jokes for children are more relaxed in that country.
Mm.
I mean, even so, the French cartoon we're referring to would still be a bit much for them.
Yeah. Well, let's just say that that the reason we're beating around the bush is because that French cartoon has anthropomorphic animals in it, and they don't wear pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and they're not drawn like Donald Duck.
Exactly, yeah. They are made to look genetically and anatomically correct. Well, in terms of being anthropomorphized.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a show. I mean, it's like I love the show. It's definitely the kind of thing that it's one of a kind. It's definitely the sort of thing that you would never ever be able to say, "Oh, this is like this." No, it's definitely its own thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If you looked around hard enough on like Newgrounds back in the day, you could probably find something less nuanced but similar.
Well, yeah, but probably not quite as well made as what we're talking about.
Yeah. This is some very high production craziness.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why we love it so much, is because the kind of jokes they do we'd never quite seen in quite a grandiose way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway,
it's educational.
Yeah, it is actually. It's surprisingly educational. At least the first series is.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I miss in the second series, is that they took away the educational bits.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, enough about that. Can't divert ourselves too much. But so like, to briefly actually talk about the subject of the video, I think you said in the live chat, you said you were going to try and check out this show if you could.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said, you probably need to use VPN for it, because the only place I know you can watch it is BBC iPlayer. I don't think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, because I did try to look it up after the live premiere, and all I was getting was results for the US version.
Yeah, that one came out, I think, some point last year, or last October, I believe, and it's actually still going. They still do weekly releases, which it's almost kind of like a response to the UK series. Like, oh, you only got 6 episodes per season. We can beat that.
Well, yeah, six episodes in a season really isn't standard over here unless, like, it explicitly is supposed to be a miniseries.
Yeah, like the Marvel series on Disney Plus nowadays, like Loki and such, they're normally only 6 episodes.
Yeah, or like the Book of Boba Fett just ended, it was 7 episodes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if you use a VPN, you may be able to find it on BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But anyway, we've now come to the end of the video, so yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed our
commentary. Go around the other
commentary.
side to have a bath?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yep, bye.
I was struck by lightning, walking down the street.